Hey y'all, Punk Rock Parkinson's here. My name's Darren. Anyway, I guess this is time for part 4 of my Parkinson's journey, and today we're going to talk about me getting my DBS turned on. Now, before we start, the Blue Angels are here in town in Corpus Christi, Texas, and they're practicing. And a couple times they've flown right over literally over my backyard, over our house. It's been insane. So if that happens, I am going to video it while I'm videoing this. So anyway, all right, so let's talk about the day I went in to get my DBS turned on. As you know, and I've said it before, I went into DBS surgery with very low expectations, and I also went into this appointment with low expectations. I just didn't want to set myself up for failure, because I have seen DBS fail in people, and I know how devastating it was to them and their families. And so that's why I went in with pretty low expectations. I just thought if I could reduce my pill intake, if it helped me a little bit, and I could reduce my pill intake from 30 carbidopa, levodopa, Rytari, whatever I was taking at the time, from 30 of those to 10, I'd have been happy with less symptoms or whatever. You have to go into the appointment off your medication, so that was a pretty rough morning. I went, and the evening before was pretty rough. I had to use a cane to walk into my appointment, and I think there's some videos on my YouTube channel showing some of that with me, walking with a cane, without, and that kind of stuff after my programming and during my programming. But anyway, I went in there, again, low expectations, and we got in there and got started, and he had to connect to my battery and that kind of stuff. And so we got connected, and then he started firing it up. And when I tell you that he fired it up for the first time, I could literally feel I just call it electricity, this electric feeling go from my head all the way down my body into my toes. It was insane. There was no real changes, because of course he hadn't, made any adjustments and that kind of thing. Anyway, we proceeded to make adjustments and do all these things. And of course he had to find my maxes, what was too far. I mean, to the point where I couldn't even barely talk. I couldn't move, which obviously was too intense, but he wanted to, see where my tolerances were. And then he started bringing it down and having me say some things like, I think my sentence I had to say was, "It's sunny in San Antonio." And I could usually say that pretty good, but there was times I sounded super drunk, or I could barely get it out, or it was super quiet, depending on where he was in the settings. And anyway, we spent a good, I'm going to say 3 to 4 hours in that appointment. And it was amazing. I mean, my wife was videoing some of it, and I just kept looking over at her going, holy shit, this is amazing. And even her face was just, I cannot believe this. This is incredible. What's this doing and helping me with? And it was, we'd find adjustments, and I'd get up and walk, and he'd have me do all the tapping the fingers and that kind of stuff. And it was just, it was an amazing day. We finally got to where he felt it was dialed in pretty good. I had no symptoms. I could talk normal. And I could just function. I wasn't shaking. I had walk. The one thing it didn't do, and still hasn't done, is bring my right arm does not swing when I'm walking. It just won't, unless I force it to. And of course, that's not a major concern. It just dangles there, so whatever. It doesn't hurt me or anything. Anyway, I walked out of that appointment without my cane. I was physically and mentally exhausted because it's very draining on me when he makes adjustments and does different things. And sorry. And so anyway, and I was starving because my appointment was in the morning, and so we stopped. I don't even remember where we stopped. We stopped at somewhere and had lunch, and I was just so exhausted. But I felt so amazing at the same time. I just couldn't believe it. And I hadn't felt that way since before Parkinson's. And it was just incredible. So I'm not a nap person really. I'm not a big nap person at all. And I went home and took a nap because I was very, very exhausted. And I felt very fortunate on how well, of course, he showed me how to operate everything. You know, I could adjust up and down on my right side depending on, like, if my tremors came on, I could adjust it up, you know, and the tremors would disappear. I think there is a video on my YouTube of me tremoring and adjusting my DBS and the tremors going away. So check that out if you can too. It's Punk Rock Parkinson's on YouTube. And the link is also in my bio. So please check that out. There's other videos. I'm posting these videos there as well because I know not everybody has TikTok. And anyway, it was life-changing. I was able to get completely off of medication for the first time in 4.5 years, almost 5 years, somewhere in there. And it was wonderful. I'm back on medication. It's more of a maintenance. I just have to take 4 carbidopa levodopa per day, basically once every 4 hours. And so, but I'm still functioning pretty well. Obviously, I've had to have some major adjustments. I found that I have to adjust it as often as I had to increase my medication, which was approximately every 2.5 to 3 months. So, you know, it's a reminder that Parkinson's is there and it's progressing and it's continuing on. And it is what it is, but my motto is live your best life now. And, I think I have it on my bracelet here. It's probably backwards, but live your best life now. And then my Punk Rock Parkinson's punk. But anyway, it was just incredible. And I encourage anybody who is having symptoms, medication isn't working, to at least talk to your doctor, your movement disorder specialist or neurologist about it, preferably a movement disorder specialist, and see if it's something that's going to help you, because it can be life-changing. I say in any of my testimonies that I've done for Abbott, which is the DBS device I got, I always say they gave me my life back, and they really did. Again, I'm not like I was before Parkinson's, but I'm still so much better off. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that. This is part 4. I think my next couple I'm going to discuss Abbott and why I chose that system for me. And then I'm also going to do a video of the DBS turned off and then turning it back on, so you can actually see what it does for me and what it could potentially do for you. So anyway, peace and love y'all. Punk Rock Parkinson's out.